Year is 2055 and no one has remembered to recycle, so the world has become a grim place. This is the story of planet heroes sent from the future. Polly and Sally stood looking out of the window that sat above Mrs. Greensmith's abandoned pet shop in Broomtown. Today was a particularly smoggy day. Girls imagined what was going on beyond the Rubbish Heap Road, and the sight of unmanageable dirt and chaos where they could play with their friends from Lost Green, the town on the other side of Plastic Mountain. A few years ago, when the rubbish crisis was just starting to get out of hand, the children from both villages would meet to play runouts in Last Leaf Forest, and play with the animals who had taken refuge there after the landfill surges started. All the meadows and neighbouring forests were flooded with plastic and rubbish from cities and towns nearby, because people kept using the general rubbish bins to throw away everything, and not enough people cared about how unwell this was making the earth feel. One day, so much rubbish had been pushed into the earth that it couldn't cope, and it threw up all the rubbish out of the ground and onto the surface, covering everything, and in Broomtown, a giant mountain of plastic now stood tall. Last year, Plastic Mountain had grown so big and unstable that its peak had broken off and crashed down halfway up Rubbish Heap Road, cutting off the connection between Broomtown, Last Leaf Forest and all the other cities. Light was fading and Polly and Sally were just about to head home for their dinner of mouldy bananas and old pickle soup, when Reese came bursting through the door.
Hey guys, the professor wants to see us at Bill's Bottles Bank. He said it's urgent.
Well, what is it, Reese? This better not be one of your tricks about how plastic is becoming biodegradable again.
Yeah, Reese, no one found that funny. Besides, everyone knows that most plastics don't break down for years and years.
No, honestly, he thinks there might be a way to save Broomtown and the rest of the world. We just need to get people to listen to us about recycling.
It's too late, remember, Reese. The plastic surges are just getting worse, and the professor told us that if we didn't start changing how we treat the earth, it wasn't going to last. Just nobody thought it was going to happen this quickly.
I blame the mayor for not starting the professor's recycling scheme when he said we were about to ruin the world for everyone.
Yeah, well, I saw you throwing your plastic bottle into the general rubbish bin all the time last year, Sally, so you can hardly talk.
Yeah, that's only because everyone else was doing it, and anyway, I saw your mum throwing all your old plastic bags out by Jenny's house last night and then blaming it on her.
No, you're lying! Stop! Take it back!
Girls, come on, we've got bigger plastics to place here. The professor said meet at Bill's Bottle Bank at 7. There could be a way to go back in the past and warn people from before everything get out of hand.
What?
Yeah, no, it's almost 7, let's get going.
Oh, Reese, I see you found them. Bill, start up the generator, and remember, focus all the power from Broomtown and turn off that bathroom light for Pete's sake. We've wasted enough energy already.
Yes, sir. But you don't need to lecture me about wasting resources. I've been telling everyone in this silly town about recycling for years, but did they listen? No.
Bill mumbled off into the distance to switch the generator and continue being bitter about how no one ever appreciates it.
Now, girls, we don't have much time. I found a way to send you and Reese back to the past to warn everyone about what's going to happen in the future if they don't start recycling and reusing things, instead of chucking everything into the general rubbish and helping that pesky Larry landfill take over the world. Now, we only have enough power to send you back for one day, so you're going to have to work fast.
But Professor, how are we going to stop Larry and warn everyone? We're just 3 kids.
Well, I've saved up just enough energy these past few years to create this super saver serum. Look, here are the last 3 drops I could get. Now you 3 take them and get going before... Wait a second. Can you smell that?
A dark cloud loomed over Bill's Bottle Bank and a horrible smell of rotting fish and burning tyres filled the nostrils of the Planet Savers team. Then an evil laugh rang out, and the professor turned to Reese, Polly and Sally with a look of despair, and all 3 shouted,
Larry Landfill!
Eat those 3 drops, and now get through that time portal. Bill, hit the switch. And get your bottle gun. It must be collection day, because we've got some garbage to take out.
Hi, Professor. I'm going to turn his polyethylene into polystyrene. Just let me at him.
Please, leave the trash talking to me, Bill. And you 3, get in that portal now. You're the Earth's last hope. Now go.
Bill hit the switch to the generator and the time portal opened up. The children looked back at the professor and Bill unsure about leaving them to Larry, but knew what they had to do. Larry came crashing through the side of the building just as the trio were transported back in time. The 3 woke up face down in the grass. They knew something was different. The streets were almost as clean as the storybooks they had read as children said they would be, and there was no sign of that evil Larry landfill. At least, not yet.
Hey guys, look at this! I can fly!
Yeah,
us too.
Look at this cool plastic force field I create. This would protect us from Larry. I guess these are super serum powers at work. What else can you do, Reese?
Reese focused on a plastic bottle in the distance, and a laser beam shot out of his eyes and vaporized it into thin air.
Cool, what can I do?
Sally flew up into the air and felt the sun rays warm her up. Then she felt energy fall all around her body and felt as though she had the strength of 100 girls. And when she came back down to Earth, all the power switches in the nearby area turned off and she powered everything electrical through her solar powers.
No way! Guys, we should think of some superhero names so that people know what we're here to do. I'll be Recyclops Kid. Sally, you be Solar Power Star. And Polly, you're Polymer Girl.
Hey, remember what the professor said? We've only got one day to convince people to start recycling. Who should we tell? I mean, where do we start?
I guess we should start with the young people. They're the ones who have the biggest chance to make a difference in years to come. If they start now, our future might even stand a chance. But where even are we?
That sign over there says Sheffield. That's Hookflow Primary School.
Well, let's go in and see if these guys will help us send our message to start recycling before it's too late. And maybe together we can all be
Planet Heroes!
The next chapter is up to you. Will you help our heroes help the world become sustainable and spread the message of recycling?
It's time for us all to become Planet Heroes.